Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for the night. Before I get any more of my Raw review, I want to shout out my t-shirt for a minute. Tony Nese. Yeah, it's one of those old indie shirts. I got as a t-shirt from my grandback from Pro Wrestling Tees a few weeks back. Just want to shout him out and shout out 205 Live, repping him for that because he had a great match with him and Buddy Murphy against the Lucha House Party. Great tornado tag match, proving why if no one's watching 205 Live, they should start. Because 205 Live has been amazing since January. Enzo Amore being fired was ending up being one of the best things that ever happened to 205 Live. It ended up changing the direction of the show and being more wrestling show. The best pure wrestling show for WWE is 205 Live, and I'm sad that no one gives it a chance. Especially good crowd in Brooklyn. Amped up that great main event last week. And proves why 205 Live should not only be watched by more people, but also that 205 Live guys should get more opportunities on pay-per-view on the main card, not the goddamn pre-show. Anywho, ladies, let's get to this review of tonight's Raw, which was on Monday, August 27, 2018, from the home of WrestleMania 18. And more importantly, the home of SummerSlam 2019, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at the Scotiabank Centre, formerly known as the Air Canada Centre. Yep, there was a lot of news outside of Raw today that made a lot of headlines. First, like I said, SummerSlam. For the first time since 2004, 15 years, SummerSlam's in Canada. Of course, they're trying to appease the Canadian fans for the lack of pay-per-views over the last decade since Unforgiven 06. They had Survivor Series 2 years ago, and now they're giving them SummerSlam. After 4 years in Brooklyn, they're finally gone. Finally. And they're giving Toronto a SummerSlam. It should have been Detroit. But hey, Toronto's cool. They're getting TakeOver, Raw, SmackDown, and obviously SummerSlam. They're getting access. They're doing access again at SummerSlam for the first time in forever. Because they used to have SummerSlam access, but they don't anymore. And other big news coming out of tonight's Raw was some disturbing news. As a fan got into the arena with a gun. He was going to kill himself. We have no idea if that actually happened, but I heard there was security around the venue surrounding the fan. And that fan in question was a guy that many people like me may remember from the Attitude Era as an impersonator of Owen Hart during that very funny DX Nation parody 20 years ago. Jason Sensation, who is from Canada. So with those headlines out of the way, I thought Raw was a pretty good one today. Very intriguing stuff. You had a really good Intercontinental title match tonight with an intriguing development, as you see from my subtitle tonight. But a famous Canadian appeared, hyping up a match for a certain women's pay-per-view coming up. And interesting development in the Strowman-Roman feud. As you see from my subtitle, Strowman found some unlikely friends. Spoiler alert, it's not the Wyatt family. I'll get to that in a second. Because there was a lot of speculation about Strowman trying to find friends to battle the Shield with after being thwarted by the Shield last week from a cash-in on Roman after his match against Finn Balor. An interesting route they took. They still want to make Roman over as a babyface. In turn, Roman's over guys in the company. They want to protect Roman. They want Roman to get cheers, and they got Roman's over guys to turn here tonight. See how this ends up. And we begin with Roman coming out to a resounding bruise from the Toronto crowd. I actually liked his promo after he called out Braun Strowman because Strowman threatened him on social media to cash in tonight in Toronto. But Strowman refused to cash in tonight because he knows that his boys are going to save his ass again. He wanted a match that he knew they were not going to interfere in. Although we've seen this time and time again. Even with the stipulation, there's always a way for interference to happen. But it makes us think we're going to get an interference-free match when we get a Hell in a Cell match. That's why Strowman's the first guy since John Cena to actually cash in for a proper match and not cash in an impromptu match against a weakened opponent. Because Strowman says if he's going to cash in, he wants to cash into his face. So that's what he's doing. And I actually like Roman's rebuttal, saying that, Roman's been the champion, Strowman's never been on the top of the mountain. He doesn't like being champion. that when Strowman says, get these hands, and he wants to lift hands, he lifts hands on stages and ambulances and all that, including one with Roman in it. But when Roman lifts his hands, he lifts the title up. I did like that. I did like the Roman promo. I know some people may not like that promo tonight, but I actually liked it. It didn't feel scripted or anything. And it's kind of cool to have this. They had an awesome rivalry last year. And they're renewing it and putting it inside Hell in a Cell. So we know Raw's Hell in a Cell match. SmackDown's is probably going to be AJ and Joe. They did announce that match, but it's not officially a Hell in a Cell match yet. But after that proclamation, we would have a very interesting interruption from Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. They weren't the only ones. Yeah, Strowman wasn't the only one who got screwed out of the title by the Shield. Shield Brothers, Ambrose, and Rollins screwed Dolph out of the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. And he wants to cash his rematch clause. Pump it, Hell in a Cell. As well. So he's like, I want my shot at Rollins eventually. But tonight, we had an opportunity. To take out two guys who hate each other. And we have the new acting GM, Baron Corbin, who actually did an okay job today. Even though he was a heel supporter. You know, he gave Dolph and Drew their wish in the main event tonight. They're teaming against the unlikely team of Hell in a Cell opponents, Strowman and Roman. See how that turns out. And then Corbin's like, well, last week, I didn't get my match against Balor. So tonight, we're getting it. I knew about it a week in advance, and Finn knows about it now. Bullshit. Balor's reward for finally getting his fucking rematch for the Universal Championship last week, a beat losing, his reward is to get another goddamn match with fucking Corbin. This is a feud that needs to end. Anyway, another okay match here with these two, with a shitty screwy ending. As Balor was dominant on Corbin with the big moves, he tried to set up the coup de grace a couple times. They brought on the outside, and his steel chair was brought in by Corbin. I'm like, please don't let this be a fucking cop out, because we need Balor to finally get away from Corbin once and for all. We don't need a fucking screwy ending to set up another fucking rematch. I'm sorry, I'm ranting here, but probably not the only one ranting, but Balor's still stuck in lower mid-card hell with freaking Corbin. Especially after finally getting his rematch for the Universal Championship last week. Albeit losing, but still, he got his rematch. But we should, okay, he got a rematch, get some more attention, get out of his feud with Corbin. Nope, he's still stuck in it. And then Corbin eventually used the freaking chair. I'm like, we're going to get another match out of this, isn't it? So we got some good news and bad news out of it. The good news is, we did not get a cop-out ending to set up another match. Yay! Well, sort of. It was a cop-out ending for Corbin, since he's now the GM, to say, oh, I forgot to mention there's no DQ. So he used the chair to live at the end of the days, and he freaking wins. 50-50 booking. Balor wins last. We get SummerSlam in 5 minutes as the Demon. And as a man loses to freaking Corbin again. Hopefully this is the fucking end of it. Balor doesn't need a comeback match to end the feud on top. He just needs to end this feud all freaking together and move on. Maybe challenge for the Intercontinental Championship once Dolph's done with it. Anywho, at that little shit show, we would have ourselves a women's match as Dana Brooke, who has not been in a singles match in a while, took on Sasha Banks. Now, there's this new little thing that's going on. We saw this kind of last week. There's kind of a more than a business relationship flourishing between Apollo Crews and Dana Brooke. They showed it last week, and now they're showing it again this week. Dana Brooke, I feel kind of bad for her. She's been underutilized since her main roster. She's not the best, but she's getting better in the ring. And she just had some bad luck, kind of like the Revival in the main roster. You know, she came in with the heel team with Emma, and then Emma got hurt, and the road to Emelina started. And And Dana floundered as the sidekick of Charlotte. She turned face. And by the time Emma returned as heel after the Emelina experiment failed miserably. And Dana was a babyface. So it was like bad. And then Emma got released. So, and Dana looked pretty good here. You know, she showed why she should be used a lot more. You know what I mean? She looked pretty good against Sasha. But the inevitable happened. Bayley got a little bit involved, but not exactly. As Sasha delivered the inevitable, the meteor leading up to the bank statement and okay little women's match here. So at least we got Dana some airtime, and hopefully she'll develop from here. Speaking of guys who I hope develop from an interesting segment and benefit from it, we're on to Seth freaking Rollins coming out. Now that he's the Intercontinental Champion again, he's going to resume something that caused him the Intercontinental Championship a few months before. Another open challenge. Roman issued one, calling it the Shield Workhorse Open Challenge. Yeah, he's the workhorse of the Shield. Rollins is the workhorse, not you. But he said all of them were workhorses. He and Ambrose and Rollins. And didn't really explain, need to mention that, didn't really explain why they reunited. Somewhat kind of a weird explanation, but hey, WWE logic for him. So Rollins issued a call out, and we had Kevin Owens come out. We haven't seen KO since getting destroyed by Braun Strowman at SummerSlam. I like the story they're doing here, and it's kind of like a real true story. Owens came out saying that I've had some bad luck since I've been on Raw. Since I returned to Raw, I thought being out of the clutches of the biased Shane McMahon commissionership and the biased D-Bry GM-ship would mean happy sales for me and my friend Sami Zayn. But nothing but bad luck for me. Sami Zayn got hurt. He's out for the rest of the year. And I had to be destroyed by Strowman every week. Even if I won a cage match, technically after being thrown off the top of the cage from Strowman at Extreme Rules. So I like the story here, and I hope they really take advantage of this, because I'm a big Owens guy since NXT days. I know I wasn't familiar with his book in Ring of Honor. I would love to have seen his book in Ring of Honor as Kevin Steen. But I got into Ring of Honor a little bit too late before Owens left. I did not get into it before he left. And I heard of Ring of Honor. I heard about Kevin Steen, but never really watched it till 2015. So Owens is like, I'm going to win tonight in Toronto. He got a little hometown pop because we're in his home country. But of course, he doesn't go the heel route when he says, I hate Toronto because I'm from Montreal. And started speaking French and got booed. And they then proceeded to have a hell of a match with Rollins. A really good match here. Probably one of the best Raw matches in a while. There were some really good spots. One of my favorites was when Owens took the buckle bomb from Rollins, bounced off the buckle, then wham! Right into a super kick. Even that Stone Cold Stunner he did. And Rollins sold it like The Rock did. Because The Rock was the best guy who sold the Stunner. And Rollins kind of did his Rock impression by selling it like a champ. Like flopping around a little bit for that Stunner. And there was even a holy shit chant from the fans after that. And then you mentioned Toronto fans were pretty good. For the most part. Surprised they chanted, you can't wrestle at Corbin and not Roman. Because I heard that a little bit early on. Anyway, like I said, fun, excellent match. A back and forth action. Both guys were jockeying for position. Owens tried a few times for the frog splash. Even did a cannonball on the outside attempt. But the ending came when he was doing another attempt at the frog splash. And then Owens got crushed on the rope. And then he recovered from that and tried for a springboard moonsault, but he missed. Got set up for the stomp by Rollins and the 1-2-3 victory. For Seth Rollins retaining his Intercontinental Championship. Losing effort, but it was the best effort Owens has been in a while. He's been, like his promo said, he's been in a losing situation ever since going to Raw. And he's been down on his luck, and this is the match he needed. And he looked the best he's ever been, trying to look like a KO of old. But then, he stood in the ring for a few minutes, pulled up Batista, put up a chair in the middle of the ring, and said, I quit. Where does the story go from here? Is it going back to SmackDown? Or they're going to try to get him to go back to Raw? Who knows what's going to be the story? But I like the story. It makes Owens interesting again after being destroyed by Strowman. A lot of people were like, what's next for Owens? Especially after getting destroyed by Strowman. How can he recover from it? How can he recover from such a slashing, an unexpected squash from Strowman. That stunned the hell out of anybody when he got destroyed by Strowman that quick at SummerSlam. They thought, oh, that is Owens in the doghouse. Did he piss anybody off? You know what I mean? And how can he recover? He's been kind of damaged goods on Raw. And he even admitted it in his promo tonight because he was so good. His first one on Raw, and of course his one on SmackDown as the new face of America with the U.S. Championship. And I kind of like the story they're doing here with Owens' real life struggles on Raw, turning into a positive with this I Quit storyline. I like it. The best he's looked in weeks. Hopefully they can benefit from here with the Owens story, and he can really get some opportunities again. So, there you go. On with our next match, being the NXT guys who have been floundering lately. The Revival are getting revived after a string of bad luck and bad booking on main roster ever since their debut last year. They're finally dominant again. They're finally looking like the Revival of old again. They've had a couple of spotlight matches against Roman and Bobby Lashley back in July, and they lost to the B team in a good effort at the SummerSlam pre-show last week. But they beat both the Revival. Revival beat both B team members in singles matches last week. So they said, hey, we showed you we can beat you in singles matches. How can we finally beat you in a tag match? None, I know that is. But a match between these two, nonetheless. As the B team try to get lucky again, the double teaming. They even got a couple of lucky pins again. Like we see like the stuff when like someone bumps into somebody, momentum shifts, Axel into a winning pin. We kind of saw like the same kind of ending like at SummerSlam again, but it was Forden. And the ending came when Dawson got a blind tag out from Dash Wilder, delivered the Shadow Machine onto Curtis Axel, and yes, the B team have finally lost their first tag match since becoming the B team. They lost their first singles matches last week, as I just mentioned, and now they lost their first tag match. And then at the end of the night, Bo Dallas got the Shadow Machine as well. And then we found out that we're going to have ourselves a tag team title match next week. Revival against the B team. Hopefully, Revival wins. I love the B team. I love what they've been doing with them, but I want to see Revival finally fulfill the potential that they've been getting since their main roster debut to finally be pushed well. You know, they've recovered well from the bad luck of injuries and the burial at Raw 25 from DX and the Balor Club. And now they've been on TV the last month and a half, getting opportunity. The tag titles, now they're going to get another opportunity. They laid them out. At the end of the segment, they even taunted the tag belts. And one of the most key they've had in a while. This is the best look they've ever had in a while, and I hope they benefit from this. Like the chances of them benefiting from the Kevin Owens story and taking advantage of it, hopefully they take advantage of this and really benefit from this. Why is it the Revival again? F the Revival no more. It's long-lived the Revival now. Hopefully they win next week. And don't get buried again. And lose the momentum again. Now on to a guy who has flourished in the main roster and not did well in NXT. Elias came out to sing a song. But the fan, he did like an instrumental breakdown on the guitar. That was a cool little breakdown. And I love the lights stuff. You know, it's always lit for Elias's promo. But it was more lit tonight in Toronto with the phones. Makes you think Bray Wyatt was coming out with the Firefly stuff. But anyway, Elias as usual, like walk with Elias stuff. And by the singing song, but he was like, I realized I'm in a shithole like Toronto. And he made fun of the Maple Leafs. And made fun of the fact that he downgraded from New York to Toronto. And he kind of name-checked Drake, saying, Drake said he started from the bottom. Makes sense. This is a bottom-feeding town. And I've been to Toronto 3 times. Once for Mania 18, and then I've seen Depeche Mode there at the amphitheater, and I saw U2 in that arena, the Scotia Bank Center, which is the formerly named Air Canada Center. Nice venue, nice arena. So then Elias, like his segments, would normally get interrupted. But a very unlikely interruption tonight, as he got interrupted by none other than Toronto's own WWE Hall of Famer, my favorite all-time women's wrestler, Trish Stratus, the woman that Dana Brooke wants to be. A fitness model turned wrestler. And she's the example of it. Got a great hometown pop. And I had a good little promo saying that I'm a fan of you, Elias. But I want you to silence your cell phone and shut your mouth when you're talking shit about Toronto. And then this is when Elias made fun of Paper Belief, saying that it's going to be just like the Stanley Cup. You're never going to see it. You know, Elias' performance in Toronto is kind of like the Stanley Cup. You're never going to see it again. And then Trish is like, just like you'll never see a WWE Championship around your waist. Burn from Trish. And then after Trish went through some highlights, she promoted the fact that she's going to wrestle Alexa Bliss at Evolution. That was made last week, right before SummerSlam. And I was wondering how they're going to do interaction between Bliss and Trish before Evolution. Well, they did it tonight, somewhat. We would see Bliss after this. But before then, you know, I like the segment with Elias and Trish. One of my favorite new guys and one of my favorite all-time favorite women in the WWE colliding in a promo. And I actually liked it, especially the ending when Elias is like, yeah, Trish, you really look good as a mom for your 60s. And then, bam, big slap from Trish. Knocked Elias out of the ring. It would signal out the arrival of Ronda Rousey and Natalya. And Natalya in her home country of Canada, in the first time there since the passing of her father, would be in a match against Alicia Fox, accompanied by Miss Bliss. She knocked down Trish a little bit, and also wound up and Natalya calling him Miss Irrelevant, Miss Overhyped, and I forgot the name she gave Natalya. And she said that she will indeed get a rematch against Rousey in Hell in a Cell, and her arm's out of her sleeve. She's medically cleared, but tonight it's all about Foxy getting an opportunity against Natalya. But we got Trish at ringside, so let's try to send out a third person out there to make it even. And with a woman who knows Trish pretty well, a woman we have not seen on TV in a few months, Mickie James. A woman that many people wanted to see face Trish at the pay-per-view instead of Bliss. But I say Bliss will have Mickie at ringside for her match against Trish. And maybe see some interaction between Mickie and Trish at the match at Evolution. So I would love to see that. But this match was okay. There was a botch from Alicia Fox. There was some distraction from the outside. And Fox could take advantage by delivering, trying to hook Natalya up on the middle rope for like a neck breaker, but it wasn't executed right. But then despite that, a little botch and stomp down on Miss Natalya and some, like I said, some interference from Mickie and Alexa, only to be cornered back by Wanda and Trish. We didn't see any physicality between Trish and Bliss. They're going to say that for maybe right before Evolution. And as the heels, Mickie and Bliss crawled through the back behind the timekeeper's area, Natalya would lock in the sharpshooter on Alicia after delivering a lariat in honor of her father and gets the victory. Kind of an emotional moment for Natalya to return to her home country, especially in a time of grief, and then come to Canada and get a win. She got on the top rope and pointed up to the sky, dedicating her win to her dad. Kind of an emotional moment for her. And they would be congratulated by the Bellatrix, who got booed out of the building. And they are back wrestling again as they get closer to Evolution. There is, like I said, the rumor about Nikki and Wanda being your main event of Evolution. But we didn't get that announcement tonight, but we did get an announcement. The Bellatrix, who have been wrestling at house shows over the weekend, will be returning to action on Raw against the Ruby Riott Squad. Man, the Riott Squad's been doing so good, but they don't deserve to get buried by the John Cena's of the women's division, especially one that was engaged to John Cena at one point, Nikki Bella. And we also found out, we don't know if Bliss is going to wrestle in the hometown of Columbus. But like I said, besides the Riott Squad against the Bellatrix, we got the tag team title match, and Shawn Michaels trying to hype up this Triple H Taker match. I later found out that the reported reason why we saw Triple H hype his match against Taker is because Brock Lesnar didn't show up. And he's going to be gone for a while. Good riddance. Stay away forever. And focus on his match against Daniel Cormier, whenever the hell that is. Probably January when he gets to his drug tests and finally passes them. So anyway, after that, we would see Bobby Lashley be told by Corbin that he has a match next. But he's so busy being a GM that he doesn't know who he's facing yet. But he finally realized who it was against Lashley, who he's going to face on the screen. The Ascension. Finally get to see the Revival recover from the bad booking. And after seeing them finally overcome the bad booking, I got to see the Ascension. So I thought to myself, who was going to face Lashley when he found out it was a handicap match? I was like, maybe we get some jobbers. Maybe some local jobbers. Then the Ascension music hit. Yeah, they're the same thing. Now, the fucking jobbers. Don't need to talk here. Despite the numbers game, Bobby win the numbers game and beat the crap out of the Ascension and gets the victory. So, there you go. Like I said, I'm happy to see Revival finally capitalize from bad booking and finally overcome it and look the best they've ever been on main roster. But then I have to watch the Ascension, the original team they fucked up on, and still haven't recovered on in the main roster. They should have been a monster heel team. They should have been, and they fucked that up so bad. And like I said, they're finally doing that with Revival, finally recovering from their bad booking. But it's sad to see the Ascension after that. So there you go. Now, by this point, it was 10:40. We had 2 matches left. I was like, really? It might be a short main event then. Or a short and cool main event, which stemmed from a backstage segment early on, as Dean Ambrose would take on Jinder Mahal. Jinder with his "Oh Shanti, Oh Shanti, Shanti, Shanti," jump, it's chanting. Yes, I quoted a Madonna song from Way of Light. Amateur Shaki happens to be a wrestling fan. I even commentated and announced for a wrestling thing. I was at a DJ gig. Sorry to go on a topic here, but I need to say this. I was at a DJ gig on Saturday. There's a block party. They get all these great activities. And they got these local wrestling guys, the Macomb County Championship Wrestling. And these guys who are trained by Truth Martini. I saw the banner said House of Truth. I'm like, oh my God, they're legit. And I told them I would volunteer to play music for them. I picked up some random songs. And I kind of picked like a bad song. I didn't know. There was a guy named Death Bomb. And I didn't know the guy was black. And I played Back in Black for him by AC/DC. Not knowing he was black until he came out. I was like, shit. Thankfully, no one said anything. No one quoted me. And they liked my commentary because there's a lot of people there that normally don't see wrestling shows. So I kind of commentated and announced, and I played music. So it was kind of a dream for me. I've been wanting to announce and commentate for wrestling. I got that opportunity to do that at a DJ gig. So that was kind of cool. But back to the topic at hand. That is Ambrose against Jinder. And I see the fit Dean with his new repertoire. And without doing the lose a clothesline. That's gone. But the abilities remained. And that was inevitable for Dean Ambrose. You mentioned AC/DC with Back in Black. And then we got a finisher named after another AC/DC song. Dirty Deeds. Not Dirt Cheap, of course. So, there you go. Okay, little match. Everybody need to mention that the Ambrose and Limited Dirty Deeds after countering the Colossus. There you go. Okay, little comment now on to our main event. Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, the unlikely team to take on Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. The fans wanted Strowman immediately because Roman started the match. It looked like Roman was going to win the match all by himself. He wants to win all by himself. Once again, I'm a disc jockey that happens to be wrestling fans, so I gotta make music references every once in a while. So there's another one for you. Here it comes. Anyway, as Roman got isolated and got his ass kicked for the majority of the match against Drew and Dolph, looking really good here, Roman finally got an opportunity to come free after delivering a Superman punch in midair to Dolph, and finally tagged in Strowman. And Drew was legal. And Drew just stood there. And Strowman never got in the ring because a woman was still in the ring. and Strowman was legal. So Drew Vidal was like, we don't want a piece of Strowman. Guess what? We get ourselves DQ'd. Started beating down a woman and refused to break the count. And then Strowman finally got in. But then we kind of realized what happened. It was a setup. As I said earlier, Strowman needed some friends to counteract the Shield after costing him his opportunity for Money in the Bank cash-in last week. There was a lot of speculation about a Wyatt family reunion. And it kind of makes sense because Bray's not doing anything because Matt Hardy's gone maybe forever because of his career-threatening injuries with his pelvis and hip now coming together, kind of fused together now. And Harper's doing nothing because Rowan got hurt. He had broken biceps, thus the title change at SmackDown. Now we have the 5-time WWE SmackDown World Tag Team Champions of the world, the New Day. Find out their opponent in 2 triple threat matches, including one with the Colognes. Interested to see them still hired. Anyway, like I said, Strowman finally got in, and he proceeded to beat the crap out of Roman with Dolph and Drew. Now, having the Wyatt reunion, as I mentioned, that was a spoiler alert, no Wyatt reunion, but that would have made sense. You know, if the Wyatt's got nothing to do, it makes sense to have a reunion. Having the most over guy to protect those little woman and try to get them cheered more, they had to turn the most over guy in the company fucking here tonight with Drew and Dolph. That makes no fucking sense. But it's the refire. Makes no fucking sense to turn the most over guy into a fucking heel to protect fucking woman and make him get cheered. Because some people are like, they need a Shield heel turn. Shield need to be heel, not babyface trainers. Nope, they're babyface trainers, and Strowman's a fucking heel with Dolph and Drew now. And then we saw Dean and Zeb come out separately into their own separate music, by the way, not to the Shield's music. They weren't wearing Shield gimmick last week. And then they got taken out. And that's how we had Raw with this unlikely force now. Strowman and Dolph and Drew standing tall. That Roman finally got outnumbered. And that Strowman finally found his solution to counteract the Shield. A weird one. Not the Wyatt reunion, but one with Drew and Dolph. And there'll be a lot of people complaining about it. Saying that, you know, the Wyatt family reunion would have made more sense. But not making sense is having Strowman not only align himself with Drew and Dolph, but have him turn heel in the process. Although there was a good boo for him after it. But still, it's not the best thing to turn your most over guy heel to try to protect the one guy they want to get cheered so bad, but can't fucking get him cheers and win a fucking Shield Reunion 2.0. They tried that last year with the Shield Reunion last fall, which it failed miserably because of a woman getting sick before TLC and then Dean getting injured by the end of the year. Trying to get Roman some cheers, and now they make fucking Strowman heel to make Roman get cheered. Stupid. See how this turns out, but even with that weird ending, we had a good Raw. You know, some good stuff, especially that Intercontinental Championship match was really good. And I hope they benefit from this Owens development and really take advantage of it and give Owens something sufficient to do. You know, they're being treated like shit on Raw, as I mentioned with his bad luck, and he even mentioned it in his promo. Hopefully this does turn his Raw trajectory around, for sure. So there you go. That is it for my Raw review. Thank you so much for watching. With that in mind, you've been attacked by the review from Zach. See you later. Bye-bye.